speaking of all over the internet, Peanut the Squirrel. The ballad of Peanut the Squirrel. What a sordid tale this has become.
Social media star Peanut the Squirrel has been euthanized by New York State wildlife officials as part of a test for rabies. The owner...
This dude, for quick, as far as I understand, and stop me if I'm wrong here at all, Johnny, the background on this is this guy found Peanut the Squirrel, like injured or something, nursed Peanut back to health, kept him kind of as a pet, started a Peanut the Squirrel Instagram account, doing all this stuff, pictures like that and everything else. And Peanut was an internet sensation. And then all of a sudden, apparently, Peanut wronged some neighbors, or some neighbors were worried about. And so they called the authorities, because you're not supposed to have a squirrel as a pet in New York. And that's when they came in and seized Peanut the Squirrel and Fred the Raccoon, right? It wasn't just Peanut. There was Fred the Raccoon as well.
Yep, that's exactly right. And they're claiming that this was just excessive police force for something like this, where they say that on October 30th, DEC seized a raccoon and a squirrel sharing a residence with humans, creating the potential for human exposure to rabies. In addition, a person involved in the investigation was bitten by the squirrel.
Okay.
He says the raid on his home took 5 hours. He said, you need that many officers to show up to to pull my closets apart and take a squirrel. Yeah. Now there are tens of thousands of signatures online petitioning, demanding Peanut's return before Friday afternoon, but wild animals are considered property in New York. Under state law, the only way to...
Go ahead. Yeah, he can't be returned now. Peanut's dead.
Exactly. The only way to legally rescue squirrels is to become a licensed wildlife rehabilitator, a process that can take months to legally keep a domesticated wild animal. So it has to be registered. We're ready to comply. We're ready to get the paperwork. We're ready to, in the process, we need a little bit of guidance from the DEC. So legal action took place. And now they just said, no, we got to test poor Peanut for rabies. And so Peanut is gone, and so is his raccoon friend. His raccoon Fred. Fred the raccoon.
Fred the raccoon also dead, just because Peanut bit somebody. And I can't fault Peanut when you get a raid coming in, 5 hours them scribbling around. Peanut's all a tizzy, like, oh, I don't know what's going on, and he bites someone. And is that the only way we can test for rabies? Is by killing them and then be like, yep, they had it. Good thing Now, a plot twist to this story. Did you see the plot twist, Johnny?
No, I did not.
You have not seen the plot twist?
I haven't.
Why this particular gentleman, the owner of Peanut the Squirrel and Fred the Raccoon, feels like he was targeted? Wasn't so much because Peanut was being noxious or a problem with the neighbors. It's because the owner and his wife are on OnlyFans. And he feels like the neighbors are a little bit upset that they're on OnlyFans, so he's being targeted for his career choice on OnlyFans, and the person that paid the consequence was Peanut the Squirrel over it.
Wow. Really?
Yes. Yes. He came out on Peanut's Instagram, and laid it all on the line of like, I do OnlyFans, but I do it with my wife, and that's how we make our money. And I was unfairly targeted by my neighbors because they don't care for what we do for a living. And because of that, now Peanut and Fred have been taken from me, and they're both dead because these people have a vendetta against me and my OnlyFans. And so that is why he feels he was targeted by the neighbors calling the authorities on Peanut, because they couldn't stop him from doing the OnlyFans in his home, but they could stop him from having his squirrel and his raccoon in the home. So that's what they went with.
Mike, stop me if I've said this before, but the day is going to come where everybody is in a porn in some way or another. That's just going to happen.
Yeah, and so much like you, with the picture of the guy slathered his room in poo, I'm not going to go search out this guy's OnlyFans page to see if Peanut ever showed up in the background of something. Like,
you got to have a gimmick.
That's right, exactly. You got to have a hook of, and now for something completely different, here's Peanut, not my penis. And it's like, here he comes out, and watch this. He's going to bust a nut. And it's like,
God.
And so, yeah, I don't know where Fred the Raccoon, and I feel like he's kind of, shrapnel and all this is Fred the Raccoon,
Yeah.
who was, we didn't even know he wasn't internet famous. Fred wasn't getting as much pub as Peanut, and now
Right.
Fred's dead too, all out of all this as well. So
Absolutely
the whole thing
insane.
it just goofed, and I'm sure it's only going to get weirder from here. The ballot. This is going to be a movie at some point, right? We had Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
I'm sure Peanut the Squirrel will end up being a movie at some point.
Well,
So if it does, if you're writing the screenplay right now, 707 for Monkey, please, by all means, write that screenplay and let us know if we can. We'll get 5% off the top for a finder's
right.
fee for Peanut the Squirrel.